Hey guys, Chris Fix here. Today I'm going to show you how to remove some old rusty brake drums. Sometimes your brake drums don't have the holes in it that you can, put a bolt in and then screw it and then it'll pop off. If you don't have that, there's a few things that you could do to try to remove these. I'm actually going to show you guys how to use a method I haven't seen on YouTube, and it's taking off some brake parts to remove the drum brake because the brake's seized up on you. First thing you're going to want to do is try to get this off yourself. Just wiggle both sides. Make sure it spins so that you know the brakes aren't engaged. Make sure your emergency brake isn't on. This is a rear drum. So as you see, it's not coming off. So one of the first things you're going to want to do is take some penetrating fluid and just spray inside each of those holes. And then you're going to want to cause some vibration to get the fluid in there good. After letting the penetrating oil sit, you can see I have movement, so it freed it up a little bit, but it's still not coming off. So when I move this, again, you can see in here moves, and also on each stud it moves off the stud. So that's important to know, because if it doesn't move off the stud, it means that the two surfaces that are touching over here inside are actually stuck together, probably rusted together. And if that happens, you could use some Croil or some type of penetrating oil in here and just spray it in there and let it sit. Spray it in here, let it sit, and hit it with the hammer, and eventually it'll come loose. But in my case, you can see it's moving, but it's still not coming off. And I'm able to spin it, so that means that the brakes aren't locked, which would also prevent it from coming off. So now I'm going to go beat it with a hammer. Here's the hammer I'm using. So I'm just going to hit it in a few different spots. You want to hit it on the end of each stud. Don't hit the stud, you'll damage your stud, then you have even bigger problems. But you want to hit it on the outside of each stud, the inside of each stud if you can, and then on the outside of the actual brake drum. And don't be afraid to hit this hard. So now as you're trying to take this off, you're trying to do like a wiggle back and forth motion as you're pulling. So I'm pulling and wiggling it back and forth. So I'm trying to shimmy it out. If that doesn't work, there's another thing you could do with the hammer. I'm going to show you that right now. So now we're behind the brake drum, and you can see here's the drum and here's like the dust plate on the back. So we're going to put a piece of metal on this brake drum right here, just like that, not touching the dust cover, and we're going to hit this piece of metal outwards, like if we're going to push the drum off. After trying to do that, you can see still no luck. Maybe for you, you'll have some luck. So now we're going to use some flames to try to get this unstuck. So you're just going to heat up all around the edge. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher or a bucket of water or something, just in case something catches fire. Now be careful, because this might be really hot. Still no luck. So the drum is completely free from the hub here. The only reason why it's stuck is because the brakes are pushing outwards. So now we're going to fix that problem. You can see that it spins, but there is some resistance, so there must be brake shoes that are pushing outwards against here, and since there's a lip on the edge of this, I can't get it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill these out. These hold the brake pads in, and if I drill them out, when I pull on this, the brake pads should just come right out. And this is kind of like a last ditch effort because I'm having a real hard time. I tried using the adjustment tool in the back, that didn't work. So you can see here, right there is where one of them is on this side. And on the other side, it's right here. So I'm going to try to drill these out now. You can see I'm making progress here. There's that pin. Almost done drilling it out. Okay, so that's drilled out. So there's the other side, and we're going to drill it. So now that we got that out, we have both sides out, and we should be able to pull the drum off. So I still can't get it off. What I'm trying now is, the last thing that would be holding it in place would be the brake cylinder here. So I unscrewed these from the brake cylinder. Now that the brake cylinder is undone, hopefully everything will just fall apart and come off. So the brake pads are literally the only thing keeping this on. There we go. Look at that. So that's how you get a drum brake off. I showed you how to do it if it's rusted on to this. And you can see all the penetrating fluid in here. So if it's rusted onto that, you use the flame, you use the penetrating oil, and you use the hammer and get it loose. And then I showed you if your brakes are stuck open and you can't use the little star adapter in the back to get them to close, you undo the cylinder here from the back and you cut off the two springs. So here's what the final product looked like. You can see the ends cut off. That's where I cut them, or drilled them out. So then this allowed this to pop out and you could get these things off. Hopefully that teaches you how to do it. And I'll put the how to change your drum brake video up here. I'm gonna do one for this car, and I have one for my other car, so you can see the two different types of drum brakes. I'll show you how to change out this wheel cylinder, because that's gonna have to get changed out. And I can put that video up over here. And so yeah, just if you want to watch any of those, click on those videos. Click like if it was helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more how-to videos.